Okay, today I saw this post on Facebook. I was about to get my workout in, but I said, let me go ahead and get this recorded while it's on my mind. I saw a dream. She posted a dream that she had, and she explained in the dream that um, America was being hit by an EMP. And instead of fear, what I felt was clarity. I was like, okay, I need to make this very clear, that this shouldn't be about fear. That's the first thing that came to my mind, because most people read dreams literally. And although sometimes the dreams that you have could possibly happen as you saw it literally, that's not how it happens most of the time. Most dreams speak in symbols first, events last. So I said, this is a good teaching moment, because I kind of know what this dream meant. So I'm just gonna share my thoughts on the dream. I'm gonna share what. Oh, I'm getting so tired, y'all. So let me slow down. I'm gonna share the posts, and I'm gonna share the video that I saw as well, and then I'm gonna give y'all my take on the dreams that these people had. So let's see. I'm gonna share this post first. Let me find the file. All right, here it is. Now, let me see if I can read that. Okay. 1/7/2026. In a dream this morning, I was observing the scene like it. Y'all, I can't even see it. Let me get my phone. I'm gonna have to read it from my phone because I can't even see it. Maybe I can make it bigger. Let me see if I can make this bigger so I can read it for y'all. Okay, here it is. In a dream this morning, I was observing the scene like it was a movie. My husband and I were in a big city in America. We were getting into the car to go to our next destination. My husband tried to start the car, but it was somehow disabled. I asked my husband if someone had come into the car and done something while we were out. I checked the back seat, but nobody was there. I started to notice there were others standing outside their cars with their arms up in the air because their cars were not working as well. Suddenly in the dream, I had a knowing that America had been hit by an EMP attack. When an EMP attack occurs, it affects the power grid, electronics, communication, transportation. It would shut down America or the areas affected. Then she went on to say, I don't share this to incite fear, but to elicit continued prayers for our nation. I'm gonna just say this: pause, pause, pause. Because why? If God say Babylon gonna fall, why is y'all praying for it to not fall? I don't be understanding it. Let me continue. We live in a different time, and warfare looks different than it has in years past. Things are advancing quickly. There's a lot of movement going on right now in the nations. There have been several words and prayer points released by others over the past couple of years to pray for our power grids and such. Let's continue to watch, pray, and prepare. Let's not continue to watch, pray, and prepare. Let's just be prepared, because we know it's going to happen. It's prophetic. Babylon must fall. Why are you praying for it to stay up? Come on now. Okay. And her name is Prophet Madeline. This is the picture that she had, y'all. Let me see if I can get the image up. Okay. I have to add another one. Y'all bear with me because I'm doing this live. Now, this is the picture that she had with the prophetic dream that she you know what I'm saying? Don't that look prophetic? It will be fire and brimstone. That's what I thought when I saw this. And let me see if it's a find that scripture. Let me find that scripture, y'all. Hold on. What's that scripture? I was gonna do a video, and I still might. I'm gonna do a video about a dream that I had about the weeping and gnashing of teeth. So stay tuned, because I may share that. I don't know yet. I may share it. So yes, Genesis 19:24. Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. So the context is judgment on cities full of corruption and sin. The symbolism is divine cleansing or the fall of a corrupt system. This is biblical. And I think the video that I'm about to show you, he mentioned something in Revelation, but I'm going to read it. This is an end time scripture. Revelation 20 verse 9 says, they went up on the breadth of the earth and surrender. Yeah, hold the hell up now. Why I'm reading like this? Let me get it together. They went up on the breadth of the earth and surrounded the camp of the saints and the beloved city, and fire came down from heaven and devoured them. This symbolizes God's righteous judgment on the wicked at the end time. Now, y'all know we living in the end time, right? Put one in the comments if you know that we're in the end times. Yeah. So, what else did it say? Okay. But yeah, did I read the last one? Revelations 21 verse 8. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers, their part shall be in the lake which burneth with fire and burns brimstone. The context of this is spiritual consequences for the unrepentant, purification, judgment, or removal of false systems. Okay, that's what that symbolizes. Now, let's look at the video that this guy did. Let's see if I can find it. I know I saved it on my computer. Oh, there it is. Okay. Now let's look at
I believe the Lord showed me an EMP attack coming to the United States of America. I had a dream, and in the dream, something had happened that removed power from the United States, sent us back to the Dark Ages. There were certain kinds of cars that stopped operation. You couldn't drive them. You couldn't contact anybody. You couldn't do anything that dealt with certain levels of electricity. It stopped. Now, some may argue that the dream was spiritual, that it meant that God's power was leaving America. And I do believe a day is coming where the grace of God and his power will be removed from America. I don't believe that specific thing is yet. You know, and others could say that, well, yeah, it was a literal dream. Now, I believe it could represent both. I believe it was a literal EMP attack and the day where God's grace is going to exit from America, because America is doing things that she shouldn't. If you don't know Jesus, get to know him. Perhaps this is why God is moving a bunch of people to a certain place in the South. I don't know. You know, to be like a little hub for Christians. Now,
no.
I want to tell you,
this is where I need to cut him off.
By all
Just
means,
now.
make sure you have your life right with Christ. Romans 10:9, go read it, all right? If you like content like this, follow for more. Now, the final 3 days of the month,
I hope y'all can hear me.
on apologetics and the new age.
For some reason, I'm not hearing myself
false
through
Jesus and more. To join it for more information, click the link in my
bio.
bio. See you guys there.
How's up? That's good. All right. Now, yeah, y'all already know how I feel about what he said. What both of them are coming from a religious standpoint. First of all, we're not gonna do that. we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes and the real, I don't even want to say the real interpretation of, yeah, the realistic interpretation of what their dreams meant. Because when you have the truth and understand what's going on in the world, you're not going to interpret your dream. You're going to interpret your dreams a little bit different. Okay, so I'm gonna slow it down. I'm not going to dismiss their dreams, but I'm just gonna give it to you in a mature way, I guess. I don't know, y'all, but let me just give y'all my thoughts. So the first thing that mattered in this was she wasn't inside the chaos. She was watching it like a movie. That tells me this dream wasn't about personal danger. It was a collective thing going on. So when dreams put you in observation mode, it's like your spirit is saying, pay attention to what's happening structurally. So this is about systems. That's the first thing I noticed. The second thing in the dream was the cars weren't just, the cars in the dream, they aren't just about transportation. They represent momentum, the ability to move forward, getting to your destination. It could mean many different things, but they were getting ready to go somewhere. They had intention, they had plans, but the cars wouldn't start. So that's not destruction, that's interruption. So they were interrupted. Now, the third thing she noticed, others outside their cars. That wasn't one person failure. That wasn't bad luck. It was a collective stalling. Everybody was stalling. So this told me whatever is happening is not personal. It's systematic. So it's a system thing, not just a personal thing. So she checked the back seat. That was the fourth thing I saw. There was no intruder. There was no villain. There was no enemy hiding inside the car, right? That mattered because I'm going to just say spirit is saying this didn't happen because of one group, one person, or one attack. So it wasn't a sabotage. It's more like exposure. And now we're getting into the meat and potatoes because this is about exposure. People standing outside their cars with their arms up. That's not war posture. That's confusion. That's surrender. That's waiting for instruction. So it's the posture of people realizing the tools that I relied on no longer work. So it's like, what do we do now? What do we do? If nothing's working, what do we do? The illusion is falling. But I'm not going to get ahead of myself. So she didn't see an EMP. And I have a lot of dreams like this where it's like I know in the dream. I don't speak it. I just know. She knew it was an EMP. So that means the EMP is more symbolic. It's not actual, right? So it was like spirit used a modern metaphor to explain an ancient truth. Okay. An EMP doesn't destroy things. It neutralizes dependence. It shuts down external power, constant communication, artificial speed, and systems controlled movement. Okay. So what still works after an EMP? What's eternal? What's eternal? That's the only thing that still works after an EMP attack. What's internal? This dream is about America's operating system. America runs on always doing something, always working, always rushing. The rat race, always proving your worth by how busy you are. The busier you are, the more worthy you are. If you're not busy, you're lazy. You know what I'm saying? It teaches people to look outside themselves for approval from jobs, money, titles, likes, degrees, and opinions. Most of the way we experience our lives is through screens, systems, and distractions instead of listening to our own awareness, our instincts, and our truth. This dream is literally saying system that the system, everything that you use to move forward will temporarily stop responding. Not because it was attacked, but because it no longer has authority. And I'm not going to even say temporarily. I'm almost certain that it's going to stop responding permanently because it no longer has authority. Now, Babylon don't fall with bombs, y'all. It's not going to be, it's not going to be a literal fire. Spiritually and biblically, Babylon falls when illusion collapses. And I hope my sound is good because sometimes this might be tripping, y'all. Maybe because I be moving. Maybe I need to sit still. Because I noticed on some of the videos, the sound was tripping. So people see this illusion collapsing. This isn't about buildings falling, or it's about belief systems losing power. It's not about the whole world blowing up and all of this stuff. Like, people think that the new world order and all of these things are about something to fear when it's really not. All it is about belief systems losing power over people. The school systems, the timelines that we were taught, the history that started in 1776 conveniently, just nobody knows about that until now. When the saints start speaking about it. Okay? Another thing was religion. As control ceases, religion loses its power. Productivity, it stops being what's worthy. Like, that's not what you're worth. Your productivity is your worth. That ceases to exist. Survival as an identity, it ceases to exist. So once illusions are seen clearly, and I said I was gonna stop moving, but I don't know, y'all. I talk with my hands. I don't know. Once those illusions are seen clearly, you can't move. It can't move you in the same way that it used to. So when I say prophetic, I don't mean prediction. I mean revelation in this sense. This isn't something bad is coming. This is something hidden is being revealed. And revelation always feels like a shutdown to systems built on secrecy and stuff, but the saints, they aren't here to burn the world down. They are here in secrecy. Everything is going to be put out plain and simple in truth and spirit. They're here to tell the truth about everything that's been hidden, the illusions. The truth does something powerful, y'all. It withdraws permission. That's why more people are watching. That's why more people are showing up. That's why what was hidden is being spoken out loud on a mass scale. Okay? More people are starting to understand what's going on in the world. This is not really about an EMP. It's about power being withdrawn from illusion, from systems that only worked because we believe they had authority. Babylon doesn't fall with explosion. It falls when people see it. Cars didn't crash in the dream. They just wouldn't start. So because movement built on illusion can't continue once consciousness changes. So this is what people call the return of Christ. Not a man falling from the sky, but truth walking the earth again through people, through voices. Not the voice in your head, through revelation. That's not collapse, that's awakening. We are all talking about we woke. That's awakening. So your awakening is the collapse of the illusion. When you wake up and understand what's going on around you, that collapses the illusion. And that done on a mass scale collapses the illusion of America altogether. All this, the American dream is going to collapse. I think it already has. And that's why the system feels like it's shutting down, because it no longer has permission. So, y'all, just remember that this system only has power as long as we give it permission. Babylon doesn't fall with chaos. It falls when truth is seen, when consciousness awakens. The saints, we aren't here to destroy, we're here to reveal. And the more we see, the more freedom we claim for ourselves. Stay awake, stay aware, and move with truth and spirit as your guide. Welcome to the upgrade.